The last time I ran, I think it was at Highbury.
That long ago?
That's the last time I ran.
If someone was playing a film about your life, who would it be? I was thinking maybe.
What a coincidence. That will, any era. If you don't have that will, that desire, whatever it is, sport, life, to be better, to do better, my dad gave me that.
You know where that is? Go on!
Sir,
Amazing! That was amazing.
I'm
loved
dead.
It. I loved it.
Can I have a milkshake?
Hey guys, it's Mo here again, you know that. Today I've got a special guest. He's my role model growing up and is the one and only Arsenal greatest player ever, Thierry Henry. You know that, my brother.
Sir, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you? Okay?
Good, thank you.
You okay?
What do we have to do? Do we have to run?
Gonna go for a little jog, talk to each
Little-
other, have
little
a chat.
jog, huh?
Little jog. Not
I just
too.
came out of the gym. I worked out
You
already
look-
for
you
2
look
hours.
good.
Thank
You
you.
look good.
You see? Trying to stay in shape.
Tell me what you've been up to. How's life?
What I've been up to, someone asked me the other day, I went to a place in the Middle East where I had to talk about investment.
Yeah.
And someone asked me what's going to be my next investment. And I said myself and my body, because I've been, as soon as I stopped my career, I passed my badges to be a coach.
Yeah.
And that was pretty heavy. Then I went on TV to work with Sky. Now I'm working for CBS on that show. You must have seen on the Champions League. I was coaching also. I coached with being an assistant with Belgium. I went to coach Monaco, back to be an assistant with Belgium. I was also in the academy at the beginning of Arsenal with the under 18 as an assistant. Then I went to Montreal. COVID time. I was tough. Came back and then coaching the Olympics recently, where we got the silver medal, and now I'm just trying to balance my life the right way, because as you know, and people take it for granted, you know, it's we always on the go, always
Never
doing
stop.
something, and so right now I found the right balance to be able to be as present as I can be in my life, right, as work, but also at home.
Yeah.
I wasn't often at home, you know, being able to see my kids, being able to see them grow up. And the balance right now is on point. So I'm trying to look after myself also a bit. And, you know, like I said, this morning I just saw 2 hours already in the gym, HIIT sessions. I don't run a lot, but I do a lot of stuff, you know, HIIT session, you know, burpees, it can be arm, it can be push-up or whatever, just HIIT sessions.
For sure, but as I said, listen, we've complemented so much and we've got so much going on in our lives.
Yes.
It's so important for us to find that place where we can feel good about ourselves and got to be doing something, because we're used to, as I said, doing, but then sometimes you forget about yourself.
You do, and there's nothing more annoying than when you are a guest at your own house, if you know what I mean. Because what we used to do before, you in the house and you step out, right? Because you're not within the way the life is, the life in your house is run, if you know what I mean. So when you step back sometime, everyone is like, oh, that is here.
Yeah.
Why is he here? Why am I here? You try to figure out why you're here. And I know it sounds weird for people, but you know, it was always at your own pace. People had to adapt to you. And when everything stops, you have to adapt to everybody. And you're like, well, hang on a minute, this is a weird dynamic. You know what I always say? It's so funny, because if that's something that you can never do, and you always talk to people after the end of the career. If I could go back with my brain now and play, ooh, things would have been way more easier, if I can even say that. But look, we had our time. It's over. But to comprehend what happened, it's not an easy one. The last time I ran, I think it was at Highbury.
That long ago?
That's the last time I ran.
Okay, ready?
Set the pace and I stay with you.
Steady. Go.
9-10 kilometers.
Yeah. Look nice and easy, bro. Just looking good. I think the key thing for me, so often it's just like try and switch off and just get in that zone.
So explain to me, because for me, I for example, the gym and doing HIIT sessions is my thing. Running never been something where my mind goes, because when I run, I don't know why, for some reason, I start to say to myself, why am I running? It's kind of weird.
That was amazing. Good run. Really
I survived,
enjoyed.
I survived.
I did, man. Really enjoyed that.
Woo!
You can only do 3 things for your mental health. What would it be?
Exercise. It's vital for me. I always said the best thing that you can have an honest discussion with yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes or whatever. Talk to yourself, but deeply about what you want to achieve or not during the day or during the week or whatever it is. And connect with your kids every day.
Yes.
Connect with your kids.
It's important.
Also work on yourself every single day on what you can achieve or not, especially those lies and the things that you don't want to raise because you're scared of, maybe where you might bring you. But yeah, that will be it.
What can you learn about your father, the experiences that you can give back to your kids and teach them maybe perhaps different?
Well, it's kind of a weird one because what was working then
Yeah.
might not work now. The world is different. My dad has had his tools, his own way of seeing things. It was his way or the highway.
Yeah.
That's how it was. He helped me so much into my development. But the world that we live in now, that will not work.
No.
You have to be a bit more talkative, explain what's happening. So that will, though, the will of wanting to achieve something, I don't care, that should work all the time.
Yeah.
That will, any era. If you don't have that will, that desire, whatever it is, sport, life, to be better, to do better, my dad gave me that.
Yeah.
So I try to pass that on with the way the new generation is.
Yeah.
That new generation now will challenge me, like you were never going to challenge your dad. Like like even looking at him back when he was talking to me, like you don't do that. Now my kids will tell me, no, I don't have to go to sleep right now, and I'll be like, yeah, I said so, because you can't just go like, I said so because I'm your dad. You have to explain, talk. That new generation is way different. They're also exposed to different things that we were not exposed to. You have to understand that also. So, but what I will pass from my dad is the will of always wanting to do more and give more. That is for sure. But it has to be done and passed on a different way, because if you go back to, I'm a 70s baby, we're in 2025. You know, there was no phone in my time. There was no internet in my time. There was no things like a lot of the generation now has a lot of informations, right? That we didn't have, but that doesn't mean that you have a lot of information that you know a lot. Because they see and they hear a lot, they automatically think that they know, and they don't. So you need to also understand that they have so many stuff that can make them go in different direction. And so that's why I will say I will bring that from my dad, but I will channel it or make it or pass it on a different way. I wanted to ask you something, because you know, how was it for you at the very beginning to make the step in between fitting in and belonging? Because you know, at the beginning, people do not understand that. You know, when you arrive in a country and you have to make sure that you fit in because of various reasons that we're not going to go into it. But there is a big difference between fitting in and then belonging. You understand what I mean? Fitting in, you will do anything to be accepted, forgetting who you are. Belonging is you arrive somewhere and you are who you are and you hope to be accepted. But how did you transfer to that? Because my parents always told me, don't make too much noise. Make sure you're not be seen. Don't bring trouble. Don't. And then at one point you forget to be yourself because you have to fit in. How did you transfer from fitting in to belonging?
Yeah, I think it took me a while, but one advice I always took from my mum, she said to me, I only understood this word later on down the line, but she said, be willing to adapt. And I was like, years like, what's adapt? What's adapt? And then what she meant when I went back again, I said, what do you mean by that word? She said, listen, when you go to a new environment, be willing to adapt. Don't expect things like how they were or this was the case. Be willing to adapt and make that change and make it work. And I was always that kid that bubbly, laughing, but then I knew where I come from.
It does. That's the thing, you know, being able to know where you're from, but sometime along the way of fitting in, you lose yourself. You understand what I mean? Because you become a different person. But having your mom obviously in the family and that strong bond right from the start, you know, kept you going the right way and not forgetting who you are. That's important. That's important.
During your football career, I was lucky that I saw you so many games, you would never imagine it, but you faced depression and players are facing with depression now. Was there any advice or anything that you could share?
It is kind of weird because I don't know if I was.
No.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the signs or the tools to understand what was happening. I knew a feeling was very different, but I'm sure you're the same. You go back to what you know, you go to training, you go to perform, and you try to deliver. And then you don't have the time to, how can I put that into word, to understand what's happening. So what I said is I must have gone through it, not knowing I was going through it. I never realized anything because I wasn't wired to understand those signals. I wasn't wired to that. I was wired to you're not good, okay, I'm coming. You're not going to do it, okay, I'm coming. All that part of the emotion I didn't know, so I don't know if I went through it or not. All I know is later on, I recognized those signals and those signs because I was different. I was more equipped to understand what was happening. I was also not competing anymore.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Because if you have a game every 3 days,
You haven't got time.
the game will bring you back to the game. You have a game, I can't let myself think about anything else. So what I said is I don't know if I went through it. I must have done, like any human being must have done, gone through that. And some people dealt with it with alcohol, with drugs. You were like, okay, next race. For sure, if you paused for a long time, you would have gone, hey, something's happening to me here. I don't recognize myself. But while you're playing, you cannot think about anything else than playing. So that's why I said,
if you're even allowed to think.
That's what I'm saying. How are you going to perform?
How? You cannot.
The other guy that doesn't have a problem but he still wants to work out will beat you. So that's what I said. I might have gone through it not knowing I was going through it. I realized that later on because I couldn't hide it with sport or anything else. But what I would say is, I would say to youngsters, do not wait to be in trouble to go and speak to someone.
No.
It should be something that should be taught at school, and we should receive that education. Like at school, they teach you music. Like at school, they'll teach you to run or to exercise, or they will teach you how to draw.
Yeah.
They should also teach you about mental health and being able to open up and speak about what happened to you, even if it's good. If it's bad, obviously people always want to talk about it, but if it's good, embrace it, talk, open. Being vulnerable is not a weakness. Is actually for me, it defines how strong you are and how okay you can be with yourself. You know, don't be scared of your demons. You know, they're there. Just make sure understand why they're there and make sure that you know how to balance your life. You're gonna be a certain way. Sometimes your demons will help you to go through something. So the way I was,
it helps you.
when I was as a footballer, he helped me sometimes. Be a killer, oh man, that helped me. So you can't also be, you can't always use it for the good and but you need to understand why you are a certain way. But we tend to do that when there is no more solution other than trying to get some help, right? You should always, I always say, we always go and see a doctor when we're sick. Try to not get sick. You understand what I mean? Try to see it before, and I think sometimes also at school it should be something that can be taught, can be explained. Where I grew up, for example, if you cry, if you cry, come on, if you cry, everyone will laugh at you in the neighborhood. If you don't know how to fight, everyone will laugh at you. If you try to talk and explain something instead of fighting, people will go, what are you talking for? You know what I mean? So you exposed. So it's also something that you become because of your environment. So don't be scared of your environment. Don't be scared to speak. Don't be scared of your demon. Go and speak before you're in trouble, because sometimes you might not be able to come back. And this is where it becomes very tricky.
You have your CBS show now.
Yeah.
How do you operate? Analysis, entertainment?
Look, there is something that I understood with being on the other side of the line. So obviously, I've been in the stand, I've been in the studio, I've been a coach, and I've been a player. So now I kind of understand all the roles. I'll be honest with you, CBS helped me a lot to understand that you can be funny on TV, because for me before, when you talked about football, you had to be serious.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about my passion, my sport, let's be serious. I need to make you understand something. And then, when I arrive on the show, when you see Micah, Jamie is also different.
I've always
When
liked
you see Jamie on Sky and you see Jamie on
Yeah.
CBS, it's a different Jamie. And then Micah is Micah, right? But
Yeah.
so we have that right balance, in all fairness. They're usually more the jokers.
Yeah.
Every now and then we'll crack a joke. I'll be a bit more serious, but I understand that, especially you have to understand also on an American channel,
Yeah.
it's allowed and it seems to be okay if you joke.
Yeah.
As you can see, if you watch usually BBC or Sky, people are
Serious.
you have your debates,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see sometimes they debate, they can be loud, everything, but usually, it's a bit more serious. And the way we have it on CBS, I have to give a lot of credit to the producers and directors and all the bosses, because they allow us to be ourselves. And one of the most important things for me is, you have some stuff that are scripted, obviously, because it's a show. You're not going to do whatever you want. But mainly, I would say 75 to 80% of the show it's us being us.
Just
This
be
is
you.
but this is why you see it's authentic. This is why I think people respond well to it, is that no one is acting.
No.
Really, like you see, I don't know if you guys watch it, when I'm not happy with something, I'll say it. I say that's not funny.
Yeah.
Like, let's move on. Micah will always love. Jamie has a different way. Papa also he will bite and everything, attack everybody. But it's okay. But we're all different. Kate can speak 20 billion languages, and as much as we can, because you guys will see also the banter,
Okay.
right? The show is 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right? What you see, what goes on around on TikTok, and you see the banter. You don't
Yeah.
see when we analyze. You don't see when we talk about. We address the war in Ukraine and obviously Russia and Ukraine. We address people dying. People. We address a lot of things on the show. But that's the beauty of the show, is that when you can educate, entertain, and make people relate,
Yeah.
I think you're not far from people liking the show. And some people prefer Micah, some people prefer. But what you have around that table,
Yeah.
you will find someone that's like you.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. At the same time that we can talk also about the game, and that's something that we have managed to do. It's not like the other day. I said to Kate, we had Lamine Yamal coming on the show.
Okay.
It's an English show.
Yeah.
Okay, American, however you want to call it. We conducted an interview with him in Spanish, Kate translating at the same time,
Yeah.
live. I'm saying not a lot of people can do that.
No.
Right there on the show,
But you've
because
got the tools.
if you have Kate asking him question at that moment,
Yeah.
and she needs to stop to translate, you lose the flow of the interview that he wants to leave. Then suddenly, instead of asking 8 questions, you only ask 4. Kate was translating. I'm speaking in Spanish to him,
Yeah.
and we kept the show. Not a lot of people can do that. In Italian, sometimes it happens. It happens sometimes in French. Obviously, it's easier, but we can go in a lot of places, and we also do analyze the game on that show. So yeah, I'm having fun doing it, in all fairness.
amazing.
And we're real friends, and I think it does show on the show that's not an act that we like each other, because we really do like each other.
That's amazing. Honestly, I do love watching it.
It is a good show.
Mika, you, and everyone. It just looks like everyone's like up for.
It is, it is.
As well as talk about facts, because you're not just joking. You brought in it straight, as well as having a laugh, but it's straight to the point. And
You know what it is I'm at home,
yeah,
and when you look forward to go to work
yeah,
instead of going to work
yeah.
and
It's
do
a
your
big
job. When you look forward to go to work, you're gonna go about it a bit differently. And yes, sometimes we have obviously disagreements in the green room. Sometimes when we talk about what we need to talk about, a guy will say I don't agree, a guy will say I agree. But once we're on there, we come together and we try to do what we have to do. But at the end of the day, like I always say, if the games are not good, also the show is not good. The guys, the main important guys are the guys that play and the way they perform. And if they give us a good show, it's easier to have a good show also.
Sure. My last question. My motto is 1 more mile. Do you have any
One more
mottos
mile.
or anything you say to yourself?
Yeah, my grandmother used to say, and she never read. But when sometimes old people come up with something and you're like, where did you get that from? Like,
Passed on.
you don't read, you don't, no disrespect, like she's not with us anymore, but I'm like, And you look, I remember the first time she said it to me, I looked at her and I went, what? You know, my grandmother used to always say, time often brings what the moment refuses.
Yeah. Time.
Do whatever you want with that one. Time often brings what the moment refuses.
You take it.
However you want to take it. From my grandmother.
Before we let you know the time, we're going to do 5 quick fire questions.
Okay.
Role model growing up.
Beside my dad, obviously, because my first hero, Marco van Basten.
Mike van Basten. Am I saying it right?
Yes, Marco
Yeah.
van Basten. You got it.
If someone was playing a film about your life, who would it be?
Wow, someone can play me. Wow. Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan? I was thinking maybe.
I know who you're thinking.
Man of Fire.
Denzel
Washington.
Yeah, but
No,
are you mad? That's his there.
young.
Denzel
Gotta go
is there.
younger as well, though.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm not that old.
No.
Denzel is there.
Yeah. Strangest interactions you had with a fan.
It's actually a funny one. I'll try to make it quick. I'm walking with my mom in a mall in Paris, and then the kid walked past me, and he was maybe 6 to 7.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. I could see the kid was looking at me.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at him, and then he's waving, and I'm waving, and then he touched my leg, and he said, "How did you get out of the TV?"
That's a good one.
I said, "This is, because I mean, you got it. Yeah, that was the funniest. I was like,
Amazing.
yeah, I got the point."
What current player you wish you would have played with right now?
Current player.
Ronaldo, Messi,
I mean, he's still playing. I would have said Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne.
KDB. Yes.
Is he going to come to us? Right. I'm not saying no.
KDB.
Imagine that. Last one. Tell us something that people don't know about you.
Ooh. But I can cook when I have to.
Chef as well.
When I have to. That's live.
You know where that is? Go on.
Passing that last with more.
Amazing.
Sir.
Amazing. Thank you.
Woo.
You okay?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I'm
Loved
dead.
it. I loved it.
Can I have a milkshake?
That was amazing.
How did I do?
What time do you think you ran?
I don't know, tell me.
6:14.
14?
Yeah.
What a
Good, mate,
coincidence.
but most importantly for me, I love that.
No, it wasn't about winning,
No, but the key thing is
anything. It's
being
about having fun, sharing a moment. That was
Exactly.
nice. No, sorry, that was nice.
Thank you for that, doing that, mate.
Do I have to nominate someone?
Yeah, you do have to. Can you nominate someone?
Big Mix, aka Big Knees.
Big knees!
Let's see if you're gonna run. I know your knees are not that great. No excuses. You gotta come. Now, in all fairness, it was great being with Sir. You have to call him Sir, by the way.
Nice, wrong one, though.
No. Sir Mo Farah.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you. Thanks for having me.
Always.
Survived. Me.
Yeah. That was fun. Guys, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. And who do you want to see next with Wrong with Mo?